I'm Christina Johnson, certified transformational nutrition coach and owner of Christina Johnson Wellness. And today we are going to talk about how we can stick with our eating healthy habits even when life feels so out of the normal and when we're out of our normal routine. You know, I don't know about you, but I've talked to so many people over the last few weeks who tell me that because they're at home more often, it's just easier to go to the kitchen and eat all throughout the day. Or they're eating more because of stress, or they're eating because they're bored, or they're eating for comfort. And so if you can relate to any of those situations, then today's video is definitely for you, because I'm going to cover 5 different steps that you can take to really cut back on the overeating and the stress eating and the just grazing throughout the day because you're at home more, so that you can continue to maintain your weight or lose weight if that's your goal, and not turn to food so much during these uncertain times. And so this definitely applies now as we're dealing with the coronavirus and being home more, but it really applies any time of the year if you tend to be a stress eater or some kind of emotional eater. So I would love to hear from you in the comments if you have been craving foods more often. So let me know if you have been, what you're craving or what your go-to comfort food has been. And while you're doing that, I'll give you my confession. So last week, my husband was getting ready to go to the grocery store, and I went to sneak one more thing on the grocery list, which was chocolate chips. So I don't know, for some reason, I had just been really wanting to make chocolate chip cookies. And I can tell you, I haven't made chocolate chip cookies in probably years, but I just really wanted to eat some cookie dough. And I think it's because just this time being at home, I just really wanted that comfort food of cookie dough. And in addition to that, I've just found myself in the evenings more often thinking, oh, a glass of wine would feel nice right now to unwind. Or I wanted to stock up on dark chocolate so I didn't run out of that. And so I know for me personally that those thoughts have been coming into my head more often, that I just want some of those comfort foods or foods that just sound really good right now. So I'd love to hear again, if that's you, if you can relate to that, let me know in the comments what it's been for you, what you've been wanting to kind of go to for the cravings that you're having right now. And then while you're doing that, I'm just going to jump in and get started. And we're going to look at 5 different steps that you can take to cut back on overeating and stress eating and just grazing throughout the day. And while I'm going to give you these 5 steps, and then I also have a way that if you would like more support, I can help you through this process as well. So I'll share that at the end. So stick around for that, because I have a special bonus offer that I'm offering right now as well. Okay, so here we go. Step number 1 to help cut back on overeating during these uncertain times. Number 1 is really to give yourself and create a daily routine. So it's really easy right now to maybe sleep in a little bit later than normal, to not have like a regular schedule throughout the day, to not have as much structure. And so I really encourage you as much as possible to create structure and routine. So for example, that would probably mean deciding what time you're going to wake up in the morning, setting your alarm, at least Monday through Friday, still getting up at a regular time. It might mean creating a really solid morning routine. So you know, I'm going to get up at this time, I'm going to exercise for half an hour, I'm going to read something that's positive or inspiring to me, I'm going to do a gratitude journal, I'm going to eat breakfast, shower, and then start work. So whatever it looks like for you, maybe it's just setting specific work hours, especially if you're working from home. I know that for me personally, it can be a bit of a challenge. So setting specific work hours or homeschooling hours, but whatever you can, just create some kind of structure and routine, at least through the week, because when you have that structure and routine, it will spill over into your eating habits as well. So that's tip number 1, is to create a daily structure. Number 2 is to write a meal plan. So meal planning is something I'm huge on and something I work on with all of my clients in great detail, because it's one thing that people really tend to struggle with. But I really believe that now more than ever, we need to have a meal plan, because first of all, we're trying to cut back our trips to the grocery store, maybe only going once every couple of weeks. And so it's really important to write down what you're going to have for your meals. So here's what I recommend. Write down what you will have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day for at least a week, if not 2 weeks. And then what you really want to do so that you stick with it is the night before. So like, for example, tonight, I'm going to look at tomorrow's meal plan and remind myself, okay, this is what's for breakfast, this is what's for lunch, this is what's for dinner. And is there any meat I need to thaw out or anything I need to prepare? What happens is that when we're at home more often, it's just so much easier to have the plan go out the window and to switch things up or to reach for something that sounds better or is more comfort food. And so when you have a plan, you write it down and you remind yourself of that plan every night, you're going to be so much more likely to stick with it. And then along with that, I really encourage you to create a schedule for your meals as well. Because what I find is I've talked to a few people who said they just don't even have normal eating times anymore. That maybe they're eating breakfast at 11 and eating lunch at 3 and then eating dinner at 7 or 8 or 9. And so not having a mealtime schedule throws them off as well. And so I will say that typically I really promote just eating when you're actually hungry and listening to your body. But I think right now it's probably more important that we get into a routine with our meals and kind of schedule them in. So even on your meal plan, when you're reminding yourself at night of what you're going to eat the next day, maybe you even want to decide, okay, I'm going to have breakfast at 9, I'm going to have lunch at noon and supper at 5. But having that plan and that schedule will help you be more likely to stick to it and less likely to make unhealthy choices. Okay, so that's my second tip, is creating the meal plan. Tip number 3, again, this is one I talk about a lot, but it's more important now than ever to make sure you're eating really healthy, nutrient-dense foods. So, for example, one thing is things like sugar and processed food are really going to not serve your immune system well. So from an immune system standpoint, we really want to be eating foods with a lot of different vitamins and minerals and just good nutrition. But also when we're under stress, our body needs that good nutrition even more. So I just recommend go back to the basics. Make sure you're getting in enough water every day. Make sure you're eating protein with your meals. Make sure that you're eating as many vegetables as humanly possible and getting in fruit, fresh foods, and really reducing the sugar. By doing that, you're going to end up feeling more full and satisfied, and so you won't be as hungry, you won't be thinking about food as much, and so it'll be easier to make those healthy choices throughout the day. So a great way to really cut back on overeating is to make sure that you're eating really good, healthy, nutrient-dense meals. Okay, that's tip number 3. Tip number 4, okay, so this one might be a little bit different for you. But anytime you find yourself, like let's say you catch yourself starting to walk towards the kitchen to look for a snack, or let's say you're just grabbing for some chocolate or some sugar or some chips. Anytime you catch yourself doing that, just stop for a moment and pause and ask yourself, I wonder why I'm reaching for some food right now. I wonder why I'm reaching for chocolate. I wonder why I want to make chocolate chip cookies right now. And just get curious. It's not about being hard on yourself or judgmental or critical, but really just stop and ask yourself and get curious about, why am I wanting this right now? What am I really hungry for? So just as an example of this, last week I noticed myself doing this a couple times where I was like just getting up and wanting to go find some dark chocolate in the kitchen. And when I stopped and asked myself, just thought about why am I wanting this dark chocolate right now, I realized because I was just feeling really anxious and on edge. And I wanted that chocolate because I felt like it would calm me down and be soothing almost. So instead of going for the chocolate, because I just paused and asked myself what's going on, I realized that chocolate really isn't the answer. But instead, I could, just do 5 minutes of yoga poses, or I could go for a quick walk outside, or even just sit outside and be in the sun for a few minutes, or take some deep breaths. So when you just give yourself a moment, ask yourself what it is you're really wanting, you can find another way to satisfy that emotional need without having to turn to food. So that's just a brief overview of, a strategy for dealing with emotional eating and stress eating. It is something that I go into a lot more detail on with clients, but that's a really great place to start. Okay, and number 5, my 5th tip for you is that if you're trying to cut back on stress eating and cut back on just overeating and emotional eating, it's really important to be proactive with managing our stress. So by this, I mean that every single day you want to schedule in time to do something that helps you to feel calm, that just makes you happy, that relaxes you. And so what I would encourage you to do, as just a little bonus tip, is to start a list, a things that make me feel happy list, or things that are relaxing list. And just start adding things to that list of things that you enjoy doing. They could be quick 2-minute things, or it could be an hour long, but whatever it is for you. So as some examples, maybe it is taking a bath. For one of my clients, she said that her thing is just being by herself and having some peace and quiet. For other people, it's listening to music. For other people, it's doing a little dance party. For some people, it's exercising, journaling, reading a book. I mean, it could be anything, but make a list of those things that just help you feel calm and happy and relaxed. And make sure you're scheduling in time to do that every day, even if it is just a few minutes. I think now more than ever, we need to attend to those emotional and mental health kinds of needs so that we don't just turn to food to make us happy and comforted and to manage stress. So those are my 5 tips for you. As I promised, I do want to share a way that you can get some support with this if you're interested in that. Because here's what I find, and I'm curious if you've ever had this thought, but so many people tell me, I know what to do, I'm just not doing it. Have you ever thought that? I mean, I know that the 5 tips that I shared with you, a lot of them are pretty simple things to do. I mean, drinking water, eating vegetables, those are simple things to do. They're pretty easy. They're things that you know already. But oftentimes the problem is we need a little bit of support and guidance to start making those changes. Or maybe we need some accountability to make sure that we're following through on those changes that we need to make. Or maybe we need somebody to help us work through challenges that come up, like dealing with what do I do when I'm feeling stressed out and overwhelmed. And so if that is you at all, that is exactly where I come in and what I do, because what I am really good at is helping people figure out how to create this healthy lifestyle and a better relationship with food in a step-by-step way that does not feel overwhelming, but that feels like it becomes their new lifestyle so that they can stick with it and lose weight for good. And so if you would like some help with that, I would love to invite you into considering my Total Body Reset program. So, to be completely honest with you, I really debated about whether or not now is the right time to promote this program, because I know a lot of people are struggling in a lot of different ways. But what I finally realized is that this program is an amazing system that I've developed, and I know that it works. It will, help you not only boost your health and your immune system, but it help you manage stress and feel more calm and just help overall with everything that we're needing support in right now. So my Total Body Reset system that I developed, it's a 4-step system, and we focus on creating a clean eating lifestyle so that you have the meal plan, the structure, the recipes, and the way of eating that will help you lose weight and feel really healthy and boost your immune system as well. But then the second part is working on creating that better relationship with food so that you don't feel like food controls you, but you have freedom from food. The third part is creating an overall healthy lifestyle where we look at managing stress and making sure that you're getting good quality sleep and are exercising in a way you enjoy. And then the last piece is creating consistency, because my goal in the Total Body Reset program is to help you create this healthy lifestyle that you feel so confident you can continue long term, because it just becomes your new normal. And so if that is something you are interested in, I am right now offering a bonus package to anybody who enrolls by next week. And so here's what's included in the bonus package. If you enroll in Total Body Reset, you will get first of all, a free bonus virtual kitchen pantry makeover session. So this is an opportunity where we'll get on video, and so we can go through some of the things in your kitchen pantry and cupboards so that I can really make sure you understand how to read labels well, which foods are really healthy, which ones are kind of marketed as healthy, but they're not actually. And then we'll also talk about what are basics, what are healthy items to start stocking your pantry with so that you just have some good healthy foods on hand. So we'll look at that. The second bonus is I will mail you one of my favorite cookbooks because it has so many simple, easy recipes that they all turn out great and they don't have a lot of crazy ingredients. And then the third bonus is a handout that I put together with some tips about food prep and cooking so you don't feel like you're spending all your time in the kitchen. So if you decide to enroll in Total Body Reset next week, you'll get that, by next week, you'll get that bonus package. And so if you're curious to know more information and just to just see if it's right for you or not, the first step would be to schedule a complimentary lose weight and keep it off discovery session with me. So that would be about a 45-minute conversation where you and I will get to know each other and we'll look at what exactly are you struggling with in regards to your health and your weight. And then we'll be able to uncover what are the unique obstacles that you're facing that are stopping you from losing weight and keeping it off. And then once we do that, we'll be able to figure out whether or not the Total Body Reset program would be helpful for you. And if it would be, I'll just share what it would look like to work together, answer any questions you have, and figure out what a good next step would be for you. So, this is a no pressure consultation, but really, I just believe so strongly that this is a system that works and it helps change people's lives. And so if you are interested, now is a really great time to get started and to really put some of those healthy habits in place that you can just stick with long term. So if you have any questions at all and you want to book that discovery session, go to ChristinaJohnsonWellness.com/calendar. So I'll put that link in the comments once I'm done so you can just click on it and go directly there. But that will take you right to my calendar. You can find a time that works for you to schedule this complimentary session. And then we'll just talk about you and your health and weight loss goals and see what I can do to help you just take it to the next level. And really just to figure out how to create some structure and routine and normalcy so that you maintain healthy eating habits and start losing weight even in these kind of uncertain times. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to put them in the comments. I hope that these 5 tips have been really helpful for you today to give you some ideas on how to cut back on any overeating and stress eating you might be doing. So just a quick recap if you missed any of them. Number 1 was to make sure you have a daily routine. So a time when you get up in the morning and just a routine throughout the day and structure. Number 2 is making sure that you're creating weekly meal plans, writing them out, and then reminding yourself of them daily. Number 3 is making sure that you're eating as much real, whole, nutrient-dense foods as possible to boost your health, your immune system, and to reduce cravings. Number 4 is anytime that you're about to start grazing or overeating or, reaching for something when you're not actually hungry, stop and ask yourself why, what you're really needing in that moment. And then number 5 is be proactive and manage your stress every single day. So if you have any questions on those 5 tips, let me know. And if you would like to schedule a complimentary lose weight and keep it off discovery session with me so we can figure out what's going on for you in particular, then just go to ChristinaJohnsonWellness.com/calendar. So I hope that you are having a wonderful week, that you're enjoying the nice weather, if it's nice where you are, that you're getting outside, enjoying the sunshine. And if you need any support at all from me, just feel free to reach out. So I hope you have a great day and I will talk to you again next week.